Damian Hernandez. So this brings me to a favored subject right here. If we miraculously go 8-4 or 9-3, I say recruiting goes out through the roof. So let me take the first portion of this because I explained this a few weeks ago, and this is one of my pet projects I enjoy. That, okay, 65 teams in the Power Five, add 4 to that this season with the 4 newcomers to the Big 12, 69 teams in the Power Five. From 2021 to 2022, 27 of them had a marked improvement or decline, meaning, by my definition, at least 3 wins, increase or decrease.
Mm-hmm.
If I release today, now, so for example, off the top of my head, in my preseason predictions, I either hit dead on the record of every team in the Power Five or came within 1 game on like 42 of 65, something like that.
Yeah.
So like 65 to 70% of the Power Five, I hit my prediction within either dead on or within 1 game. Okay, I'm not saying I'm going to do that every year, and I'm not even saying that's good. I'm just using that as an example because if we said the project is to find the 27 teams, which may be on the high end. It hasn't typically been quite that high, but it's going to be in the 20s most likely. Find the 20-some teams out of 65 who are going to elevate by at least 3 games or decline by at least 3 games. And I released those predictions. I guarantee most of college football fans would say, Mark, you're an idiot. What? You're crazy. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And it is going to happen. Now, I may not hit all of them. I won't hit all of them, but this is going to happen with a ton of teams this year.
Yeah.
And Miami has the coaching staff with a track record and the ability on the roster to hit that 8-win mark.
Absolutely. And again, we have plenty of talent on the roster, even though obviously it was a struggle to turn that talent into on-field production last year. But yeah, you have veteran coaches and you have, I think, schemes and, things on both sides of the ball that are going to be maybe more advantageous for the talent to show itself as elite and whatnot, and a schedule that's not very difficult, like we've made it difficult. I appreciate that, King Cam. But Miami's made it more difficult on ourselves year after year. I mean, like if you go back to the beginning, the first couple of times that I was on here and even on defunct shows for, like the call in, whatever, blog talk radio, phone podcast that we used to have with State of the U, always say, if we handle our business, if Miami does their job, it's going to be very hard for other teams to compete. If we just handle our own business, and Miami has not handled our own business. We have not done that very often. And you can look at, like, sometimes, like a couple of years ago at Pittsburgh, with the flea flickers and all the vertical passes, that was 2021 when Lashley was last year and everything. Sprinted out to a lead. They got a score. Cool. We get 2 more. It's 21-7 real quick. But again, if I can, outside of the HBCU games, if I can name the few times that we've done what we needed to do, that we've, forced the other team into turnovers and whatnot. I mean, you want to talk, and I'm sure I said turnovers, and what did everybody just think of? Turnover chain 2016, 2017, right? Man, we took the ball away and then we went and we spent that cash. Well, we got, yeah, but few times and far between has that been the case. We've always been fighting ourselves. Operational penalties, these, things coming off the sideline, calling a timeout after a, give up a touchdown, extra point, timeout, kickoff into the end zone, timeout. So commercial break, kickoff, commercial break. So you didn't have 7 minutes real time since the opponent scores. You come off the sideline to start that drive, timeout. For what? Right? But that is emblematic of not handling business, even something small like that, right? All these pre-snap penalties, all these other kinds of things. And if Miami were just able to have a plan and set out and work and accomplish that plan, That's how you get beating Florida State by 6 touchdowns or 7 touchdowns, whatever it was, 8 touchdowns. I forget. But by 80 million points, right? We did what we needed to do. They were very bad, right? But even that year, they found ways to keep games close. We went out, we did what we needed to do. We forced them into doing what they probably didn't want to do, and then we kept it going. If you're thinking back to the N'Kosi Perry 27-7 comeback game, right? For a good long time, Florida State did what they wanted to do, and Miami was not able to accomplish what our goals were, or and do what we needed and wanted to do. But then that flipped, and then okay, it's a 21-0 run. We end that game, we win, boom, done. But you can point to very few times that that's happened. So it's really incumbent upon Miami to now do what we're set out to do, to handle our business in the way that we do it. And hey, when Coach Paul Johnson was at Georgia Tech, the way that they did things was running the ball. And they had that left guard move early, and they're going to run that wishbone, and they're going to run the ball 18 million times a game. Navy, Army, whatever, they're going to be like that. There's other teams like, when Mike Leach was coaching Washington State and Mississippi State, God rest his soul, but they're going to throw the ball 90 times a game, and they're going to have checkdowns and swings and screens and things like that that are going to replace the run game in the offense by these kinds of passes. But they did the things in the way that they want to. And I'm not saying it was perfect, but more often than not, they're playing the game on the terms that they dictate, the way that they want to do it. And Miami is not always, let me not say that, but too often Miami has played on the other team's terms, because we had this game plan and we wanted to do that, but we turned the ball over 3 times. So now what we wanted to do was all the way out the window. Or I'm Josh Gaddis and I didn't look at the roster that I had. So after, losing to Middle Tennessee, I finally meet with my quarterback and say, hi, my name's Josh. Your name's Tyler. Can we sit here and talk about what the routes are that you like to throw and what you do very well? Because apparently, obviously, I don't know. Right? But it took until 5 weeks into the season to have that heart-to-heart to actually get there. So why are we playing the game on somebody else's term? That's where it comes from. And if Miami plays on their terms against a schedule that's not really that hard, 8, 9 wins should be there. Obviously you're going to get some bad luck and some things like that. Whatever. But the performance should be able to merit that kind of record if we're finally able to play the game on the terms that we want to dictate, which again has been few times and far between in the last forever.
They won the FCS game. They beat Georgia Tech. They beat Virginia and Virginia Tech. Who am I missing? There's 4. They must have won another non-conference game against somebody. Anyway.
Southern Miss.
Southern Miss, yes. Yeah, those Virginia and Virginia Tech games weren't necessarily easy either, especially Virginia. That was the 4 overtimes or whatever it was, 12-9.
Yeah, the 14-12 after 4 overtimes. You're a play away from really, really running Virginia Tech out of their own barn, and then you let them back in the game, and things like that. So you get the intermittent performance where it's like, yeah, we're doing really well, and then that leaves a lot to be desired, and now we're kind of playing defense and we're trying to keep them out of the end zone at the end to sustain the win. So yeah, it was up and down, but the talent is there. The coaching is there. It just, whatever the missing piece of synergy is, whether you need, I don't know, somebody screaming in the locker room, you need Cam Kinchins to turn into, Ray Lewis in there, or, Ed Reed in college, I'm hurt dog. You know what I mean? If we need something like that, if we need I'm watching Friday Night Lights, the show now. So I've read the book. I've clearly seen the movie. But now I'm watching the television series of Friday Night Lights. Taking it back to the movie, if you need Ivory Christian, the big defensive end who never said 2 words, but in the state championship game halftime, he went plumb the fuck off, so that je ne sais quoi, so that everything comes together. If that's what you need, hey, hopefully we find that, right? Because obviously we're going to have guys who are going to run fast. We're going to, a quarterback who throws the ball well. We're going to have guys who block. We're going to have guys who tackle. We're going to have all those things. But if you're missing that ineffable thing, right, of inspiration and connection and community and family to really have this team come together, I hope to God that they find it. But having big, fast, strong athletes that other teams want and still won't want and still want, reigning All-American safety in Cameron Kinchins. You have a coaching staff that is produced at stop after stop after stop after stop. The framework is there. The ingredients for a gourmet meal, as in a really good winning season, are there. I don't know who the chef is who's going to put it all together and scream at everybody on their stations. You're on the fry station. You're on the potato station. You're over here doing risotto. You better not stop stirring that damn risotto. You roasting chicken. You doing whatever. And who's going to put it all together? And that's Cristobal's job. But like, it's not just on him. And hopefully we get somebody who's able to do that. And this team that really wants to come together and not just like each other. And honestly, I don't really care if they like each other. They got to play hard and they got to work together from first whistle to last on a couple Thursdays, a couple Fridays, and some Saturdays in the fall.
I enjoy the analogies. Those are well spun.